Welcome to Story Smash, the storytelling game show. My name is Christine Blackburn, and holy cow, do we have a fabulous evening planned for you guys. Let's get started right away and introduce to you the Wheel of Stories. There are 12 permanent topics on the Wheel of Stories, and there's an additional space that says free. If the contestant lands on free, then the contestant can choose any topic on the wheel. There's also 3 spaces that say audience, and if the contestant lands on audience, well, then it's your turn out there on YouTube and Facebook to tell us story topics you'd like to hear, and one of our expert judges will get to that topic. By the way, thank you so much for being here on Facebook and on YouTube. You see, there's always a place to chat. So get in there, tell me where you're watching from, and then get your story suggestions out. You got it? So that if they land on audience, we are ready to go. I need you people. All right. Let's get to our expert judges right away, you guys. This first judge coming to the show is a comedian and a writer. He wrote on At Midnight for the entire run of the series. He's also a broadcaster for the LA Derby Dolls and one of the funniest guys you'll ever see on Twitter. Please welcome Blaine Capatch.
Oh, hi, Christine. How are you? I didn't hear you come in.
Oh, hey, Blaine.
It's great to be here on Friday. I think it's Friday. We're brought to you tonight in part by On Bug Spray. You like bugs? They're going to love you. On Bug Spray. And also Chips and Salsa Ahoy. Chips and salsa together again for the very first time. Christine?
All right, you guys, this next expert judge is a fabulous comedian, and she's played the game many times at the Improv with us as an expert judge, so she knows what she's doing. She's had her own comedy special, and she's in one right now. It's called the Comedy Store documentary series on Showtime. She's here right now. Put your hands together wherever you are for Felicia Michaels. Felicia!
All right.
You.
I'm glad to be here. You're looking so good, Christina, and you're so peppy. Like, what's wrong with you?
Well, I think it has to do with the smoky and the drinky, and Blaine Capatch is here. Woo!
Yay! Woo!
All right, you guys, our final judge is a writer who wrote on the Emmy Award-winning Modern Family for its entire 11-year run, and he's in the production now with the comedian and actor Kevin Nealon on his new show, Hiking with Kevin, and he also is the author of this book. He started it, My Twitter War with President Donald Trump. Put your hands together for Danny Zuker!
Oh, cow. Wow. This is so exciting. Just so excited for all of you having me on the show. I can't only imagine what that must be like. I'll never know. But what an honor for everyone here to see that.
You guys, we're playing 2 rounds of the game tonight, and in the event of a tie, we'll go to a spin-off round. Now, the judging is based on 3 things: the story, the ability to stay on the topic, and the time. And swimsuit, that's right. And you guys are going to be giving 1 to 5 in each category, making a total of 15 for the round or 45 for all of you. And if you add that to the second round, which is another 45, what do you get, Blaine?
The best president?
Nobody told me there was going to be math.
Well, that's the thing. The perfect score is 90 or very close to it. So who knows? I mean, anything could happen. Last week, we had a 3-way tie. It was crazy, but we did it.
All right. I thought you were just going to say 3-way. Okay, perfect.
I was like, oh, God, what did I miss?
Glad we didn't go into a parking structure.
I'm very excited. We're going to start the show right away. Good luck to all the contestants. And remember, we do fact check the stories. My hand is now going into the Story Smash can of truth, and the first contestant coming out to play and spin the wheel is, oh, looky, Wendy Wilkins. Come on out, Wendy. All right, you guys, this contestant is hailed from New York. She's performed all over California, the Midwest, and New York. In addition, she's an award-winning filmmaker, screenplay, and television writer. Please say hello to Wendy Wilkins.
Yay!
Now let's tell her what to do, guys.
Spin! That.
Spin it.
It's been brought to you by Clear Beef. The choice for dinner has never been clearer. Clear Beef.
Food. Wendy landed on food. Whenever you're ready.
Perfect.
Wendy.
All right.
Timer.
Okay. So when I was a kid, when my dad married my stepmom, it became very clear that I needed to compete for attention. So what I did was I would turn and I would eat a lot. For some reason, that was the thing. I could make everybody laugh. I would eat like a whole bag of Doritos and a whole bottle of soda. Of course, I would puke it all up later. But like, it just was so much fun to just like stuff my face and everybody would laugh and stuff. So much so that at a Girl Scout outing when I was in 4th grade, they were making hot dogs. And I was like, I'm going to see how many hot dogs I can make. And everybody was cheering me on. And I ended up eating 14 hot dogs in like less than 20 minutes. And boy, did I suffer. I suffered hard and long, but I was a legend. I was a freaking legend. And everybody loved Wendy because she ate a ton of hot dogs. And then I realized what hot dogs were. That was the thing. I put 2 and 2 together and I went, oh, yeah, no. That was a minute, right?
Look at that. 1 minute right on time.
All right.
Danny Zuker.
Look, to me, nothing is funnier than an eating disorder. And I think everybody can agree with that. And this really had everything. You were trying to fit in. You were purging. You were vomiting. You just brought the joy back to it, which we're also serious right now with people starving or overeating or bullying. And it's great. It's great. I tried to instill this in my own 2 daughters, especially the fat one, that this is super important.
Oh, God.
So, okay. So I am going, you stayed on topic. That's a perfect 5. I never know what the other ones are. I'm going to give you 14 points. You got it. That was a good story.
14 points. Blaine Capatch.
Well, you started off with dad and stepmom. I thought it was going porny. And so that was good mislead. Got my attention and kept it somehow after it wasn't porn. 14 hot dogs in 20 minutes. You still are a legend. I still get those newsletters from the Girl Scout group. And they're like, do you remember the time Wendy, the Wilks? Remember when Wilks ate all those HDs, those Hodos? I'm like, fuck yeah, I do. I had a camera in the bathroom. And, I would give you a perfect score. I'm not allowed to give you a perfect score because Christine yells at me. She burns me with cigarettes if I give people such a high score. But luckily, you said you put 2 and 2 together. And like I said, I was told there was going to be no math. So 14.
14. Felicia Michaels.
First of all, I just wanted to say, man, you have the gift of gab. You could probably sit in hell and talk to the devil with no problems. You know what I mean? Like and I admire that. That's like such an ability. You stayed on topic, right? You were right at the perfect 1 minute thing. But how were the hot dogs made? Did you make the hot dogs, or someone made them and brought them to you? It's important for some reason.
There was a dad grilling on their back patio, so they were just grilled hot dogs on a platter. So I just was like, I was doing the Joey cheesy, from the Long Island.
Both hands? Were you doing both hands?
Oh yeah.
We are really back to porn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Set me up later in life. For sure.
I just love that you did both hands like that. So I'm going to give you 15.
Oh, 15. An amazing score. Wendy, let me ask you a question. Did you have to eat the bun?
Yes. You always have to eat the bun.
With the bun?
You have to watch the July 4th hot dog eating contest at Coney Island for Nathan's, and it's you have to eat the bun. The bun has to go with it. So yeah.
Whenever I do a hot dog eating contest, I always do it like with a lettuce wrap. Moment on the lips.
Wendy's total score 43. An amazing first score for Wendy. She'll be back for the second round for sure. Yep. And right now I reach into the Story Smash can of truth and tell you who the next person is coming up. Oh, look at this. Okay. Now this talent, she's an artist and a comedian who's looking for an emotional support animal, but a new pair of Uggs will do. Please welcome Abby Schachner.
Abby.
Abby's won this game before. Wendy. How are you, Abby?
Proud favorite, Abby.
I'm doing all right.
Okay.
I'm convinced.
Let's tell her what to do.
Spin.
It's been brought to you by Advil AM. Keeps you awake for the pain. Advil AM.
Breakup. Abby has landed on breakup.
Oh. And I just go whenever I want to?
Yeah, you take your time and then I'll start the clock.
Okay. The last relationship I had was with a praying mantis. We had a meet cute. It was just like a romantic comedy. I did a double take because I thought it was a cricket, but it was a praying mantis. And I pulled him off of my screen door, and we had it was just a good luck sign, and I let him go, and I thought about him. I thought about this praying mantis. And then the next day I go out to do an errand, and this praying mantis is on my car laying across like the last scene in 16 Candles when Jake comes to visit Molly Ringwald. And I see this praying mantis. I'm like, I plucked him off. He jumped on me. I took some pictures. He did not leave my arm. I thought about this praying mantis. This is terrible. I don't see the clock. I thought about this praying mantis, all day long, that night. The next day I leave my building. A neighbor is looking down at something. I'm walking my dog. I see this. I say, what are you looking at? She says, I'm looking at a dead bug. I look closer. I move her out of the way. It is my praying man. There's only 20 seconds. What the fuck happened in this story?
No, there's actually been about 40. You got like 10 seconds.
Anyway, I move her out of the way. I look down. It's the praying mantis that I kind of was thinking about for the past few days. It's there. It's dead. And I know it's my boyfriend. Its head was missing. The fucker was cheating on me. Anyway, that's all I can say. I don't want to get too intimate. I had a relationship with a praying mantis. It left me for another woman. That's all.
Blaine Capatch.
You don't have to love me or like me. It's okay.
That story had everything. It had drinking. It had asking if how you were doing on time. It had getting a head bitten off. I love praying mantises so much. I have books on them and stuff. And I believe you when you said that you fell in love with it because their eyes follow you around the room like one of those Disney paintings. But I'm just glad that just check your garden. I think you're going to have a lot of little ones in the garden. And Christine's going to burn me with cigarettes again for this. 15.
Felicia Michaels.
I've been sitting here thinking how I wash my hair fresh for this fucking show, and she shows up like that with her hair in a ponytail. What the fuck? But I loved your story. I loved your story so much, but I didn't like how angry you got at the end. You got so angry, but I like anger, so I'm going to give you 13.
A 13, Danny Zuker.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess before I judge, everything going okay, Abs? I mean, you want to you need to talk to somebody? Are you?
Believe me, I've had therapy for many, many years. It doesn't show. Nothing penetrates. I got to be honest.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I haven't noticed much improvement in my own damn self, and I'm a fan of praying mantises. I did find in the end of the story, like I couldn't see the clock either. So that was, I'm gonna erase the clock points that I would have. Like I'm gonna go 13 points, Abby. You were entertaining all the way through because let's face it, you're funny. And I also did my hair, and so
Abby Schachner, you're always a delight. Thanks for playing. You got 41. We'll see you in the next round because everybody's playing 2 rounds tonight. So we will see you then. And now it's time to reach into the story smash can of truth. Pull out the third name, third
Can
storyteller playing tonight. Okay, now check this out. This person is a new contestant. I don't even know him. We just found him somewhere in Chicago, and he is a storyteller and a trainer. And he's the host of This Much Is True, Chicago's longest running monthly storytelling show. He's the creator of the Story Lab in Chicago. And he's the director of Do Not Submit, a citywide network of open mics with a goal of creating empathy among neighbors. What is this empathy you speak of?
Fuck you.
Please welcome Scott Whitehair. Scott Whitehair. Woo! Scott, what to do, you guys? There he is.
Oh, there he is.
Hey.
Hi.
Wouldn't it be awesome if he was like on the top of the Sears Tower?
Oh, my God.
Let's tell him what to do.
Spin
Spin.
that
That
wheel.
Deal.
This has been brought to you by car alarms. Nothing lets you know a motorcycle went by like a car alarm. Christine?
Food. Scott Whitehair also landed on food.
Wow.
Interessante. When you're ready, Scott, I'll start the clock and I'll try not to drop it.
I remember the exact moment I gained my father's respect. It wasn't through sports when I was younger. It wasn't through anything that I thought might have resonated with him. It was on a night in my 20s on Thanksgiving Day. I was a college dropout, and I had come back to crash my parents' couch and drink my sorrows away in the bars around my town. And I was constantly getting hassled by them. So that night after Thanksgiving, I went out. And when I came back, of course, I was hungry. And there was a hoagie bun. There's always a hoagie bun in Western PA. And so I just had a stroke of genius, I thought, and started to put every available Thanksgiving Day staple on the bun. I mean, I even put the pumpkin pie on top. My dad comes out, and I'm getting prepared for this whole what are you doing? Get to do something with your life, all of that. And instead, he just stares at me for a long time, and he says, "You're going to put gravy on that." And then he turns around and goes back. And he didn't say he was proud, but he didn't have to.
Holy.
Felicia Michaels.
I miss Abby's anger now. You know what? I appreciate that. It sounds like you had a game plan before you came to the game. I think you were going to tell that story no matter what, and I like that you kind of twisted it to the topic matter, but I got a little confused. But you stayed on time, so I'm going to give you a 13.
13, Danny Zuker.
I thought that was a tour de fromage. I don't know. I don't speak. But that was amazing. You opened with a fucking topic sentence. Do you know how rare that fucking thing is in a 1-minute story? You had you had. I mean, Jesus Christ. I want to make fun of you, but it makes me think like maybe like people from Chicago are just better at this. You get only because I would give you a 15, Frank. I mean, fuck it. I haven't done that. I'm giving you a 15.
15. A 15. Unbelievable. Look at that. Blaine Capatch.
You know what? You were talking about food and the Chicago thing, and it just reminded me. And then you said Western Pennsylvania, and it just reminded me when I'm in Western PA, I always get the deep dish pizza. You've always got to get the deep dish pizza. And you said hoagie, which is great because out here we call them saucers, right? Everybody calls them saucers out here. It's ridiculous. People call them hoagies. But then again, it's got me thinking putting gravy on something, the love of a dad, just sort of like acknowledging that this kid has an eating disorder from the first story. That was fantastic. And I got very, very hungry and I wanted to go eat the head off of something. So I would give you 15, but Christine would she would slowly give me every day. I would just drink my coffee, go, this is like almonds, and then I would be in the paper. So I'm going to give you a 14. 14. It's a good score all around. I'm looking forward to getting all the numbers added up. Oh, look at that. Scott's score is a 42. It's a strong number. He's coming back for the next round. You don't know what could happen.
Anything could, really.
anything could. Now, you guys, I don't even have to pull the name out because I know this last contestant. She was once upon a time a Juilliard grad and a classical theater actress. And then years later, a stand-up comedian and a storyteller. She published one book under a pen name, and she's workshopping a solo show and hibernating as she procrastinates and writes a book series. She hopes COVID ends soon, but she has no idea how to get back to the real world anytime. Please put your hands together for Isadoro Boto. Isabella. All right, you guys, let's tell her what to do.
Bad wheel. It's been brought to you by Human Sacrifice, keeping the sun happy since 5500 BC. Human Sacrifice, Christine.
Mom. Isadora landed on Mom. She's got 1 minute to tell us all about it. Whenever you're ready, Isadora, I'll start the clock.
Yeah, my mom is mad at me today. So, yeah, my mom, normally she's always mad at me because I'm normal and she, that's what it is. But anyways, one day I called home. I'll tell this one. And I said, Mom, what's going on? She said, I can't talk right now. There's 4 squad cars in the driveway and I think they're arresting your father. And I said, Mom, why? What's happening? And she said, I don't know. I think it's because he was grounding. And I said, what is grounding, Mom? And apparently what's grounding is when my father wears a big yellow jacket and lycra pants and just walks around in the grass and gets energy from it. And so the police were there and I said, well, what's going to happen? Why would they arrest him for grounding? And she said, I don't know. Some lady thought he was a peeping Tom. Said, were you a peeping Tom? I don't think he peeps. No. But they're taking him now, so I'll call you later. And she takes her crochet with her wherever she goes, like to the movie, wherever she's at. So she walks in with the big crochet and some earplugs. So she doesn't want to hear the movie because she doesn't like movies with Nazis or swearing or violence, unless it's other people, like no Jews, as long as it doesn't happen to the Jews. Connected to. I think I'm done, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I couldn't tell. I couldn't see the clock. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You went a little over time. It happens. You didn't hear the glass smash. I'm not sure what. I think.
All right. I feel like I'm disqualified now.
No,
Danny,
not at all.
Danny, throw your glass down, would you?
What's that?
What?
Would you throw your glass down?
Yeah, I'll throw it down. Crash.
All right, Danny.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Sorry.
Well, obviously, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind when I hear a story like that is relatable. No, it's not at all. I cried grounding. It was it was a crazy story, but you did take me on a journey. I also like the other thing that I thought was very remarkable was you were about 12 seconds into the story before you at which point you said, you know what, I'm going to tell this one. Like you'd already gotten in and then you raced to the end and that was impressive. So I'm going to give you that. So I'm going to give you, I'm going to give you 13.
13. Blank Capatch.
I was transfixed by the zebra. I want the zebra in my house. That red and yellow zebra. I want the Narnia lighting. I'm gonna go wrap my my bedposts in purple lights. I'm gonna go get some energy from grass. I learned so much. I'm gonna go take my socks off and like rub around and get my sweater all charged with grass electricity. And I love that you stopped right when you said that your mom takes her crocheting with her and she was going to a police station to get your data. Anyway, I loved it. I'm gonna get kneecap with golf clubs in an alley behind the Brown Derby over in Santa Anita. But 15.
15.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Felicia Michaels.
Shit.
Wow. You know, as soon as you said your first sentence, I saw Blaine and Danny and myself lean in and listen. That was an amazing story. I loved it all the way through. I didn't, you should have maybe ended with the crochet thing, but it was an awesome story. I was so into it. I'm going to give you a 14.
A
Because
14.
you went a little long. Yeah. It was
Danny
great. Great
Zuker,
story.
what did you think and what are you eating?
Oh, I get to vote again?
Oh, you already did. Sorry about that. All right. What's the total for the round? What's the total? I think it was a good score. Oh, yeah, 42. It's
42.
a great
Are you
score,
kidding me? That's
Isadoro.
a great score.
It's a great score. Way to go. Okay, now she goes back in the green room and the echoing stops. That's good. Now we're moving on to the second round. I think you all know what this means. It's double the fun. They go to 2 minutes. We learn a lot more about each person. And basically, we do the same thing again. So all the names are back in the can of truth. Blaine, did you have any of our sponsors ready to talk about?
Well, I could mention Bosch cereal, the frosted oat cereal with little marshmallows shaped like your dad. Start your day off with Bosch. Don't forget Jack Daniel's vodka, the great taste of Jack Daniel's in a vodka. Jack Daniel's vodka. Also brought to you by Breadwetters. Wet the bread. Say goodbye to dry bread with Breadwetters. And of course, Oat Fab. Move over, Oat Fab. It's the cleaning power of oats. Oat Fab and Oat Fab pods for when you just don't have time. Christine?
The first contestant coming up in the second round is, oh, look at that. Again, it's Wendy Wilkins. Come on up, Wendy. There she is. All right, you guys, let's tell her what to do.
It's been brought to you by Oops, All Tarantulas.
Oh, look at that. Wendy landed on audience.
Oh, boy.
Wendy landed on audience. And that means we're going to go to Facebook and YouTube and see what our audience out there would like to hear about. This guy here wants to hear about oat pods. Very funny, T. Castillo. Very funny. What else do we got, guys? Let's get this going on. I told you to write in here before. You didn't. So here we are. Tour de fromage.
No, these are just recaps of
I know.
amazing jokes.
Yeah.
But,
By the way, I bet Wendy could do a 2-minute story on oat pods. I'm totally serious.
Climbing rocks. Oh, here's one. Look at this one. Neighbors.
Dogs,
Okay.
neighbors.
Amusement
Here's one.
park.
Amusement parks.
That sounds like a good one to me.
That's a
Yeah,
good one.
yeah. I'm gonna. Can I vote for amusement parks?
I vote for
Yeah.
amusement parks as
Yeah,
well.
me too.
I also
love
just
it.
wanted to
I
say I
love
have a joke later, but you could be Joan Wilkes Puke in the last one.
love
You
that.
love the puke.
I love
It's okay.
that.
It was when I tell the story later, I'll say I said it in the moment. Okay.
I love this topic as well. Thank you so much for bringing it to us, Alicia Murray. Whenever you're ready, Wendy, I'll start the clock.
Okay, great. For spring break, my dad would take us down to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And if you know anything about Myrtle Beach, there is 2 amusement parks. There's an old one and a new one. And no matter how loud, we're all like loud people. There's always one person in our life who's louder than us, who's like braver and bigger and brighter than us. And when I would go down to Myrtle Beach, it was my friend Kim, who lived in a neighboring town in upstate New York, but our families vacation at the same time. So I would hang out with Kim, and Kim talked to everybody. She talked to everybody, every person. So every time we went to the amusement park, we were always talking to strangers, and everybody talked to her because she had huge tits. Everybody did. So like there was these guys, they came up and she would always be like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, it's strangers. I don't have to talk to them." And then they'd always ask for our names, and I'd say, she'd say Kim, and I go Clyde. You know, like I had to give a fake name. So there's one time we're walking to the amusement park on the Strand, which is just a strip full of cars and people. And I'm walking, and I turn around to talk to her, and I see she's getting into a Camaro, like a white Camaro. And I'm like, "What the fuck?" And she goes, "Come here, they're going to give us a ride." And I get up there, and it's 4 jarheads. And I'm like, holy shit, if you don't know what a jarhead is, it is a Marine in boot camp. And so I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I have to make a decision. Do I go with her and let her get killed? Or do I go and maybe try, to do it together? So save us, right? So I get in the car with her. So she gets in the back, the only seat available. The only other seat available is the passenger seat. The guy in the passenger seat, I have to sit on his lap. So I sit on his lap and we're in there and she's chatting away and I'm just like, oh, I don't know what to do. And I turn to the guy and I say, hi. And he says, hi. And then we just do what we do. And we just start making out. I made lemonade out of lemons. And then finally it got real quiet and then she got us out of the car. And then, as we get out of the car, we wave goodbye. She goes, what the fuck did you do? And I go, your tits got us in the car. My mouth got us out. There you go.
Wow.
Hey, listen, the time was perfect. We had a little accident, technical difficulties, but the time was perfect. Felicia Michaels.
Oh, you could have so done it about OPODs. I swear to God, you can talk about anything. I swear to God, you are freaking awesome. Yeah. And you use the trick where if you're running out of time, you explain like the strand. Okay, here's a dictionary definition of the strand. Stretch the time. And you ended on a kabang with your little thing there. So yeah, 15, dude.
Wow.
15.
Thank you.
A great score, Danny Zuker.
I mean, you had a punchline. You did have that moment of the person faking the book report stretching. I agree with Felicia, where The Great Gatsby is a book about a man named Gatsby, who's some considered great. You did a little of that, but you made it funny all the way through. Look, I'm a sucker for stories about tits, and I mean, I guess tits in general. And so if I could give you a 16, I would, but she'd kill me. I'm going to give you a 15. That story had a beginning, a middle, and a fucking button.
Yeah. 15, that's spelled Fifteen. If I were to stretch, I would say Blaine Capatch.
It had everything, Wendy. It had the word Myrtle in it. It had a Camaro. It had huge tits. I'm gonna have to go at great physical risk and cost to myself personally. 15.
15, another great score. Holy cow. We're going to have those scores tallied up. Just so you at home know, I have no problem with the number 15. So suck it. What, Danny?
No, I'm not going to say anything. Don't hit me again.
44 is Wendy's total score. An awesome score. Thanks for playing, Wendy.
Thank you.
Let's put our hand back in the story smash can of
Actually, wasn't she 50? Weren't we 15s across the board there? No. I guess I was wrong.
There must have been another number. All right, coming up
I'm a
to
little
the
bit high. There we go. Thank you.
Oh, it is 45.
Yeah,
wait a minute. What's going on in the back room there? What's going on with my
hard. You got to add 3 numbers. They both have 2 digits.
Somebody's going to get hit, and you're lucky it's not you, Zuker. Coming up right now to tell a true 1-minute story is Isadoro Boto. Come on up, Isadora. 2-minute story. Gotcha. Let's tell her what to do, you guys.
Good night,
It's been brought to you by Thai food. Unless you want pizza, it'd be faster and we'd have it for longer. Pizza, Christine.
Ooh, vacation. She just missed audience. She landed on vacation. I bet she's been on one. It's a true 2-minute story, Isadora. I'll start when you're ready.
Okay. Ready? So there was a guy that I was dating. He wasn't my true love, but I had to get married because my mother was like, get married. And so he asked me to marry him. And I was like, okay. He was like my last chance Texaco, And so I was like, and he gave me a ring and it didn't quite fit, so we were on vacation at my cousin's wedding and I wanted to show people. So I was like, look at my ring. And it fell off into the ground while the reception was going on. And we're all down there on the ground and my mother's crying and people and we're looking in people's pants and we're, looking at their cuffs and it's like the ring is totally gone. And Now he's mad at me and he's like, you did it on purpose. You wanted to not marry me. I'm like, what? No, why would I do that? And so we end up, he and I, going to the end of the walk, and it's over, and we're smoking cigarettes on the ground, you know, trying to get over our sadness. And my mother's coming running up going, give her a second chance, give her a second chance. And he's like, I don't know what she did with the ring. I'm like, I didn't do anything. It fell on the ground. And finally, at the end of the evening, everybody's getting up from the wedding. And the only person that didn't get up was my grandma Violet, who my uncle Roy helped get up. And Roy starts coming, and a whole bunch of people start coming, and we hear all these people coming towards us, and it's like Frankenstein, you know, they're with something, and they're like, and as they get closer, I can hear them say, we found the ring, we found the ring, it was in Grandma Violet's butt. And I didn't get married because the ring was in Grandma Violet's butt, but, you know, it was my last chance. So.
Wow, that's it's a big story, Blaine Capatch.
That had everything. But here's what I'm fascinated with this time is the painting behind you of it's the Princess and the Pea, isn't it? It's the stack of mattresses.
It is. You're right. You know your fairy tales.
It's fantastic. I want to live in your Zoom square. It's like if the Phantom Zone was an IKEA display. I'm giving you 15.
15 points. Felicia Michaels.
Oh my God, like every first sentence you say, like everyone's like transfixed, like what the fuck, right? Like seriously. But and so how did the ring get into Grandma's butt? I need to know how did.
Key detail.
I'll tell you. So Grandma Violet was sitting down, and she was the last one down. And when Roy, her son, helped her get up, he noticed her dress was sucked into her butt cheeks. So he went to pull it out, but it wouldn't pull out because, you know, she had like old person butt. And so the ring got sucked right in there, like old butt. And then he had to pull, and the ring hit him in the face. He's like, oh my God, there's the ring, because probably it fell in the chair, and she just kind of lodged on it and it sucked right up. So
15 automatic.
15. Look at the score. You guys are generous. Danny Zuker.
I look, you know, it's the it's that same old boring vacation story about losing a ring and having an aunt find your ring in the butt. I mean, we've heard it a million times. I'm kidding. It's very. I would give you a perfect score, except this little detail of how it got in the butt, I think would have been key. And you did have time. You had another.
I couldn't see the clock. I protest.
I know. Okay. Look, it's you're being a little John McEnroe right now with the judges, and I can't. So I'm going to give you a 14 on that one.
A 14. Okay.
But I will say this. I got to say this. I could listen to you talk for a very long time.
Yeah.
You're the only man that's ever said that.
All right, let's add up those scores. Take a look at the leaderboard. Isadoro Boto, excuse me. 44. It's another big score. I know she did well in the first round. I'll be anxious to see the scores a little later in the game. But right now, let's continue playing the second round. And coming up to tell a true 1 minute story is, you can read it, Danny.
Scott Whitehair.
Scott Whitehair's coming up. Chicago. Oh, there he is. Let's tell him what to do.
Bad. Wheel.
In the wheel.
Been brought to you by Pepperidge Farm. 5-hour energy blasted goldfish. The old man died. We do things differently here at the farm. 5-hour energy blasted Pepperidge Farm goldfish. Fish.
Birthdays. Scott, you've got 2 minutes to talk about your birthday. We're anxious to hear your story.
I've been to a lot of birthday parties, some good, some bad, but one stands out as the worst. I was 17 years old, and I had been with a woman for the third woman I had been with. And the first time was a nightmare. The second time was comically bad, but the third time we really connected and we had a great time. And we were both, I felt like more of a man. I didn't feel like a kid so much. And at the end of it, our time together, she said, why don't you come to my party next week? And I said, yeah, I'd love to come to your party. And I felt really good about it, and I couldn't wait to see her. So I show up at the party, and right inside the doorway, there's an older girl, gothed out, like skull rings, everything, black lipstick. I'm there for like 30 seconds before she yanks me into the bathroom and closes the door. She starts flooding my mouth with menthol smoke, biting my lip, jacking me up against the counter. And I don't know how much I was enjoying it. I was just trying to defend myself for the most part. But after about 5-6 minutes of this, she shoves me away and walks back out into the party. So I kind of leave behind her sheepishly. When I get out, everybody's looking at me. And I'm like, and I'm a little embarrassed. And they say, Carly's waiting for you in the kitchen. Why don't you go in and talk to her? And I'm like, okay. And I get in there and I find out two things. One, that was her older sister. And I felt like an asshole, but not compared to how I felt in just a moment when I looked over her shoulder, and on the kitchen counter was a birthday cake. It was her sweet 16 birthday party. And I had come in and made out with her sister. So that was my present to her. And so I did not feel like so much of a man, or the man I wanted to be at that point.
Oh shit, the time went off. It was at 1 minute 54 seconds.
Perfect timing.
Pretty much perfect timing. Felicia Michaels.
Oh my God. First of all, when you're telling a story about sex, you should slow down a little bit and be very, very intimate with the details. But I thought for a well-groomed man, you kind of had me for a well-groomed man. I mean, normally well-groomed men aren't great storytellers, but you're well-groomed, and you kind of had that moment where you're like, and scene, right? And then you kind of went into it, but you totally brought it. But at the end, you stretched it a little bit. I'm going to give you a 13.
A 13? No, it's his first time playing the game. I think he did
well.
Okay,
14.
No,
no, all right, 14.
14, blank.
Yeah.
That's amazing how I love that, Felicia.
She really sticks to her guns. Blaine?
I love that it had the wicker. When you brought up the wicker, that was I couldn't stop thinking about it. And then when you said that wicker and you went over to wicker and wicker, and I just couldn't wicker. So I got to wicker you on this one. 14.
That
was great. It was great, by the way. It was like a real owning up to a fucked up situation. I liked it.
And 14's a good number. Danny.
Yeah. For me, I was thinking about, like, it was very rattan. I was very rattan about it. No, I'm not going to redo your bit. So I think it lost a little bit at the end. It was there. It reminded me, I'll tell you a quick story because I had like a similar thing real fast. Just we got the time. So my first week at Syracuse, I'm 18 years old.
Oh, here we go.
I'm at a bar. It also happens to coincide with the first night I've ever gotten high. And there's a girl who's a senior, redhead, and she just seems, when you're 18 and you meet like a 21-year-old, they seem like they're 40. And she picked me up and we went back to her place, like it was off campus, which seemed super exotic. And then she's like, hey, I'm just going to go wash up. Watch this. And this is the 80s. So she pops in a VHS tape. It's really the first like sort of produced porn movie I've seen at this point because it wasn't readily available. It pops on and I saw the biggest dick I've ever seen in my life, like there. And I say to her, I said, holy shit, look at the size of that dick. And over her shoulder, he says to me, that's not that big. She goes into the bathroom and I leave. True fucking story. I was like, if that doesn't impress you, I am so fucking out of here. So you brought that back to me, that moment. I was like lost in reverie over that moment. So 14.
14, another 14.
Yeah.
Great round. You've done a great job playing the game, Scott. Thanks again for tuning in from
Thank you
Chicago.
for having me.
Yeah, thanks,
Yeah,
Scott.
everybody.
Awesome.
God.
42. It's a great score. We're going to hear more about it. And
Yeah, we
look
need
at
you back, buddy. You're good.
Yeah, look at that. Somebody's likes you. This guy says, "That's no dick. That's my brother."
Philip Charlie. That's classic Philip Charlie.
Yeah, I'm Dick. That's Tom.
All right, you guys. There's one more name in the can of truth to finish up our second round, and we all know who it is. It's Abby Schachner. Come on back, Abby.
Schachner.
Oh, bring the anger.
Good job, Abby Schachner. What a talent. An amazing artist. There she is.
I do want to say something before we start. I must tell you, I was envisioning Albert Brooks and Defending Your Life when this was coming. I was just so scared, and I was just feeling like every time he saw bits of his life, and this is just scary. I'm aiming for 12s, and if you give me 11, that's a good thing in Spinal Tap. Whatever happens, I'm okay to be the lowest scorer. I'm gonna aim for that. Let's see what happens.
This is the most amazing strategy I've ever seen, Abby.
Yeah.
In poker, we call this angling. It's like you're sort of like playing it's great.
Tell her what to do, guys.
It's gotten me no
Spin. That
wheel. It's been brought to you by Refrigerator by Milton Bradley. A game of escape.
Drunk Tank. Abby landed on Drunk Tank. She needs to tell a true 2-minute story. When you're ready, Abby, I'll start the clock.
Well, I remember when I first saw the word drunk take, it reminded me of the night before I took the SATs. I was at Becky Bather's house, and I was looking at her fish tank, and I was looking at a fish very closely, and I didn't know that I was pushing it with the actual, scooper. I was pushing it against the glass, and when I let it go, it floated up. And then I took the SATs the next day. But then I was thinking that if I got Drunk Tank, I would share something that I've never shared before. In college, there's 2 things I've never shared before. One, I had a threesome in college. I was at a bonfire, and a guy started kissing me, and then he had sex with me. He was kissing my friend Rebecca, and then he had sex with me, and then I watched him have sex with Rebecca. It was traumatic, like at the cafeteria when I saw him. I knew I had to tuck it in and hide it. Well, there was also never talk about it again. He became my Facebook friend not too long ago, and I still, get a twitch. I'm not a fan of threesomes. It's painful. Anyway, but one night my senior year in college, I used to dress occasionally nice. I wore this blazer-like thing that had shorts, and I looked so good looking, and I drank. I was wearing pearls, and I drank with some girls. We were having fun. We were going to Boston. I think where the Craigslist killer killed his woman, we were going to have a party, a dance there. And on the bus on the way, I think it was Jennifer, she lifted up something and she started urinating on the bus. We're taking this bus to Boston. And then I decided to take my little shorts across, and I urinated too. And then I think another one of our friends urinated. We were drunk, having a great time, but there was other people on the bus. They didn't really appreciate it. Urine was sloshing and trashing everywhere. I remember kissing Rebecca in the bathroom stall with a urinated backpack. Anyway, there was a note in the mail 3 weeks later about who urinated in the bus. Didn't say a word. That's me.
That was a perfect time. A great story with a middle and a beginning and an end. Danny Zuker.
I mean, I got to just say, you are funny. Yeah. I mean, let's face it, you're funny, and that's like a crazy story. And it felt like you were finding it as you were going. It felt like you spent part of that fucking story talking about a story you weren't going to tell, but then you came back to it. Like you riffed, you were in the moment. Fucking A, Abby. 14 from me. You could pee on my bus anytime.
Oh, hey now. Blaine Capatch.
I'd like to rephrase that.
Go ahead.
I don't really want to. No.
I'm going to count that as 11. Thank you.
Yes, it was great. No 11. It's 14. Okay. Totally.
Blaine.
I don't hear you, Blaine. You're muted.
Oh, sorry. I was that was for my wife. I was at that Craigslist killer party, and it was it was fun at first, and then some dudes from Galaxy 500 showed up, and then
Oh my God.
a weird fight started. Yeah, I know, and it just got really. So you're lucky that you didn't go there. You're lucky you missed it. That story had everything. It had 2 girls peeing on a bus. It had threesomes. And it had that giraffe from the other woman's background behind you. I saw it. I swear to God, I saw it. The little red and yellow zebra that was back there. 15.
15.
Wow.
Great story. I like the ties behind you, Abby. Those are all ties hanging down, neckties?
No, it's just fabric and ex-boyfriend jeans.
Boyfriend jeans. Felicia Michaels.
I feel like Abby has the most amazing origin story. I don't know. Like, I'm so like, I just want to hear everything about you. Like even though you were skipping around, but it was all entertaining, and you fessed up to peeing in a public place. So I'm gonna give you 14.
14, another good score. And did you see the banner that went by? Something about Venmo. Have you ever tried that? Anybody? Have you tried that? It works.
Oh my God, hold on, let me read it aloud. You can flip Christine $10 on Venmo now, and that's at Christine-Blackmorn-2. Am I reading it right?
I think you might be, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hey, let's bring everybody back on the screen, and we'll start taking a look at the scores. It's been an amazing evening.
Oh my God.
Let's see everybody. Isadoro Boto, she's here. Scott Whitehair, he's here. Oh, Abby's got 43. 43 is a great score. That's a great score, Abby.
Good,
Way
Abby.
to go. So now our producer is tabulating the scores. Wendy's back, and there's our friend Scott Whitehair, Isadora, the giraffe, the
Give him
zebra.
time, though. He's got to add 2 numbers. So
The math. Stop it with the math.
And there's Abby again. This has been so much fun. We're here every Friday night.
how you doing?
We're here every Friday night at 7 p.m. Friday night at 7 p.m. Anywhere in the world. Tune in, watch us, enjoy the show. Because you know what? We're going to be going back to the improv real soon here. So you watch Story Smash while you can. See you next Friday, March 19th, for another Story Smash. Hey, Blaine, do we have any other sponsors tonight? Please.
Yeah, Story Smash brought to you by Spiders, drinking from the corner of your eyes while you're sleeping. Spiders from the makers of Earful of Eggs. Also by Big Mouth Billy Bass Fleshlight. Don't worry, you'll be real happy with the Big Mouth Billy Bass Fleshlight.
I don't think your refrigerator one got enough love. That was a great one.
I agree.
I feel like that went by. Like I just want to say.
Yeah, that was a new one.
Yeah, these are great.
That Toll House Keebler.
Okay, Abby's total score 85. 85 is a nice score. Thank you, Abby.
Great
85.
score.
Oh, and by the way, I love your Catherine Hahn meme. You're really killing it. That's one of the greatest.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Scott's total score is also 85. Isn't that interesting?
Oh my God.
Yeah, how about that? A couple more scores coming up. And Isadoro, total score 86. 86 is coming up. How about that?
Wow.
And Wendy Wilkins, I got to tell you, I have a feeling she's topping this thing. Wendy
Hey,
Wilkins,
what the?
I gotta feel it.
88. Wendy Wilkins is the winner of Story Smash. She's
Stop the
getting
steal.
$10 via Venmo tomorrow, via me. And I so appreciate you playing, Wendy. Big round of applause for everybody who played tonight. Isadoro Boto, Scott Whitehair, Abby Schachner, and of course, a special thanks to our judges. I so appreciate your time and playing the game. Danny Zuker, Felicia Michaels, Blaine Capatch. My name is Christine Blackmorn. Good night.
This is Story Smash. Stay at the Ravioli Time Inn in Little Italy. Come on in. Mama said she's gonna feed you nice. Ravioli Time Suites. Mamma mia. That's a spicy motel room in exchange for this announcement. For more information on Ravioli Time Suites, go to 1-800-RAVIOLI.